Hello, guys. Hey, She Army. Hopefully, you guys can hear and see me. It is Wisdom Wednesday. Hope you guys are doing well. And tonight, what I really want to focus on is the topic of how to be your own CFO. That is, how to be your own CFO and why women should strive to be their own CFO. That's Chief Financial Officer. So, why women should strive to be their own Chief Financial Officer. So, guys, listen, for far too long, we have been ignoring our mindset, especially our money mindset. The future is truly female. And that means we need to get our finances in order. We need to become our own CFO, especially if you're running a business. Having a feeling about where your expenses are is not the same as knowing exactly where your expenses are and knowing your break even down to the pennies. Also, knowing what your projected revenue for each month would be. Those are important numbers as a womanpreneur that we need to know. We have to know what the common financial traps are to be able to avoid them as womanpreneurs. We need to embrace the power of knowing. So, the first thing that we want to start to implement is a budget. We should be tracking all the details of our personal and business budgets. Not using a budget can definitely lead to overspending, especially on credit cards. Women are more likely to over budget, so we need to combat uncontrolled debt. And a lot of uncontrolled debt comes from online shopping, swiping your credit card, not checking how much is in your account when you need to. And one of the ways that I actually was able to do that was actually to unlink some of my accounts so that, like, let's say I had my check card linked with my savings and my checking was linked together. At a certain point, I unlinked those things so that I wasn't transferring money over just to be able to continue spending, right? Another thing that I did was stop using credit cards. If I didn't have the money in my bank account, it was not going to be brought. So just some little tips and tricks that I've used over the years. The second pitfall we need to avoid is not having an emergency fund. So you need to have an emergency fund because emergencies happen in life and we need to be prepared. When thinking about rainy day funds, men typically have twice as much saved as women. Men typically have twice as much saved as women. Not having an emergency fund and not having a budget makes for a really detrimental situation. When transition, change, and challenge happens in your life, how will you persevere? When you have a stressful job, when you're in an abusive relationship, any sort of bad situation, how will you get out when you don't have the money? We should be saving for at least 3 to 6 months of an emergency fund. And if you are a side hustler, thinking about leaving your full-time job, I would recommend at least 6 months to 12 months of expenses saved. Why? So you can avoid the stresses of financial strain that comes with entrepreneurship. People don't often talk about that. But yes, you're going to have your income for a while is going to be up and down as a new entrepreneur. So you're stepping out there, taking the leap. Make sure you're taking the leap into a safety net rather than taking the leap off the bridge over a cliff, right? The third financial pitfall I want to talk about is, some people don't get mad at me, but every woman needs to be in control of her finances instead of waiting for her knight in shining armor. A man is not a plan. I'm going to say that again because I know some of y'all going to be mad, but a man is not a plan. Women are increasingly earning more, and 14 trillion of personal wealth is controlled by women, which will only increase in years to come. So an extreme tip is, even if you're married, do not hand over control of your finances to your husband. I will say that again. Even if you are married, do not hand over control of your finances to your husband. Women are just as capable as men to handle their own finances and the household finances. Yes, ladies, we can handle the household finances. Do not be robbed of your power and your financial security because of traditional societal roles. I will say that one more time. Do not be robbed of your power and your financial security because of traditional societal roles. One of the mistakes that I made in my marriage was relinquishing my voice and my power. I just kind of let things happen, not seeing things, not really being on board, but not saying anything. And before I knew it, there were purchases I didn't agree with, things were happening I didn't agree with, and things got out of control. They got out of control quickly because I was one to avoid confrontation. So again, if you don't accept the behavior the first time, it will not continue. And this is definitely a trap to avoid. So set yourself up right the very first time. Be frank and open about these conversations with your partner up front. So don't just wait until you get married to talk about finances. You should be talking about those things before to make sure you're on the same page when it comes to your money mindset. The next pitfall is waiting until we have all the right answers, right? Waiting until we have all the right answers and then doing nothing. That is a huge pitfall. So trying to have all those right answers, trying to achieve perfection before actually implementing anything will prevent you from reaching your financial goals. Don't derail yourself and sit on the sidelines waiting until you have the perfect financial situation to invest. You can make your money work for you at any level. Investing and saving for retirement and just saving in general are key, but make sure you use all vehicles available to you. You don't have to just do one thing to invest and to save. Checking, savings, high yield savings, stocks, bonds, IRAs, 401ks, mutual funds, insurance. There's so many different things and products that are out there and vehicles that you can use to invest and save money. So all you have to do is start. Starting small is okay. But if you don't start, if you're trying to wait until you've already secured the bag, until you're already, financially mature, you've waited too late, right? So they definitely start early. And my last pitfall for you guys to watch out for is saving too little. Women typically save at a lower rate than men. So that puts us at risk of outliving our money, especially in retirement. So we're working on really closing that gender wage gap, but we really need to focus on earning more, saving more, and being fiscally responsible. So I say to you, ladies, make sure you empower yourself to take control of your finances. It's never too soon and it's never too late. So I'm going to go ahead and pause for questions and comments. Hopefully this is resonating with you guys. And if you're watching this later, definitely feel free to put comments or questions in the group, and I will definitely make sure I respond to you. But I really want you guys to empower yourself to take control of your finances. It's never too late to start saving, never too late to start investing, and really just be in control of what goes in, what comes in, and what goes out of your own household. All right, guys, so I'm not seeing any questions. If you'd like a deeper dive into this exercise in terms of learning how you can be your own CFO and learning how to take control of your finance, how that is a key component of your business and being able to scale, you can book a clarity call with me, a free clarity call, 30 minutes, and I'd be more than happy to help with that. The link to book is in the description of this live. Feel free to DM me on all my social handles at Crystal Renee personally. Also for Simply She, I'm on Facebook at iSimplyShe or Instagram at I_simply_she. The February events calendar will be out soon. And also the She Collective enrollment is closing this Saturday. So if you haven't put your applications in, make sure you DM me so that your application can be considered. And that's all I have for this evening, guys. So remember, you too can conquer if you slay hard every day. Take care and have a good evening.